Welcome to Burden of Proof. Game made by RobProductions, which is self-described as inspired by games like Danganronpa and Phoenix Wright, and what's ostensibly a 3D murder mystery / courtroom experience. And after the main character made an appearance in the world of Argus Haken, we had a non-zero amount of people asking me to do this, and this was in my library already, so let's give this a try, shall we? Let's dive right in. Start a new game from the beginning? Yes, please. Every piece of evidence is vital to an investigation. Every investigation is vital for a fair trial. Always taking pride in understanding complex situations. Always found a joy in solving mysteries, delivering justice. So when this sword appeared in one of my cases as a piece of evidence, I began to doubt my own sanity. At first glance, the sword holds no meaning. But observe the color, make, and material. But one aspect truly defines this item: the inscription. There's writing on the blade of this sword. If you want to know what it says, you're out of luck. And that's because I can't read it. It's not because it's hard to read or written in a foreign language. Because my brain can't process what it says. No matter how much I look at the writing, I can't comprehend what's written. It's as if the writing has been censored from my own mind. When other people have read the inscription, my brain tuned out. If I took a photo, the words still didn't appear. So that means there's something wrong with me. Implications of that are disturbing. Am I going insane? Is my brain blocking out something? If anyone finds out, I'll lose my job, be sent to a mental institution. That's why I had to hide the sword. I leave it here on the outskirts of town. Nobody will find it. I never have to see this sword again, and it won't be a problem. As long as I never try to read the writing, I'll still be sane. That's not where my story begins. Something else happens tonight. Something far away from here. A murder. Sure enough, my mentor and I would be the ones to investigate. Oh, hello. No, look out, he's got his AirPods in. No. Free parking. Okay, I know I made a joke, but that video, that was actually pretty cool. That actually looked pretty darn good. Ah, we kept everything intact like you said. I haven't started IDing the victim. Nail. The seat is on the 5th floor, sir. That'll be all. Dismissed. You can put your arm down. Hale seems very distressed today. And again, he never is happy to investigate. Well, Conrad, we have work to do. The victim was shot in the abdomen. Let's head up to the 5th floor and survey the area. I heard what he says before I hit the victim myself. Let's see here. Move using WASD. Also speak to people using the action button. What was it again? Oh, it was spacebar. Okay. What you need to do is get to the 5th floor. What you need to do to get to the 5th floor is speak to the officer. Easy enough. Time to get to work. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, I'm not hitting the right buttons. Okay. Hello. Wow, this camera is weird. Okay. Snail's truck. I can't believe we drove on the wrong side of the road to park here. I think it did make for a pretty cinematic shot. Okay, is there Shift does seem to make us saunter faster. Looks like the police are already here. We're probably waiting on the 5th floor with Nail. Okay, so in theory I could just hold forward and adjust the camera to move. Hello there, sir. No, this area is restricted. But I was supposed to be working on this case. Ah, a likely story. You just saw me exit a car with my mentor. He's the lead prosecutor on this case. It's getting nowhere fast. Show me your ID card so I can verify your identity. My ID card? Oh, I left it at the office. I'll be back with the ID card. To figure something out. There's a card around here I can use. I should search the area. I can do this by moving to an area and using the interact button when prompted. I thought it should be spacebar, right? I'm just gonna go in this way. Aha! An ID card. Dramatic point. I'm sure no one will mind if I borrow this. But a pack would have done. No one will even know what is missing. Gotta show it to the officer. We got the ID card from here. So nobody will mind that I took it. Okay. You again. I told you that you can't enter unless authorized. Authorized? You have to believe me. Believe you can prove who you are. Well, that's handy. It's what just prompts you to present. Boom. Here's my ID card. Oh, your name is... Flowers? Yep, that's me. I'd be in a lot of trouble if I can't bluff my way through this. Oh, I remember someone back by that name back at the precinct. Really? Yes, of course. Sorry to keep you waiting. Just head right up there. Take the elevator, 5th floor. Thanks. Looks like I'm in. I should catch up with Nail. Autosaved. Wonder. Okay. Okay. Hi. Okay. Well, that's nice. That's nice. Sir! Oh, Conrad, what took you so long? Just catching up with the case files. Is this the crime scene? Correct. It's a bit gruesome, isn't it? Shall we begin? I'm going to let you handle this one on your own. Something really must be wrong. Are you sure, sir? I think you're ready. Believe in yourself for a change, Conrad. My name is Conrad Cross. I'm studying to be a prosecutor. This is my mentor, Grey Nail. My job is to assist him in his investigation. Just a few hours ago, we were tasked with this job. Murder was committed here last night. It's hard to say who the culprit is. Eventually, someone will be tried for this crime. We need to gather evidence in order to find the truth of what happened here. Alright, I'm ready. Good. Let's start by inspecting the relevant areas. First, walk up to the item you want to inspect. Then press spacebar. Inspecting is a fundamental aspect of investigation, so use it well. It's the same way I found the ID downstairs. Think I can manage that? Excellent. Is something wrong, sir? You've been acting strange. Guess he doesn't want to talk about it. Now get going. Remember, you have to move to an area to inspect it. Report back to me when you've inspected everything. Seek a way out. Investigation, 5th floor. Whoa, hi. Oh, I like this. Oh darn. Oh darn. Oh. These cars are awfully close to the crime scene. Perhaps they're involved. There! The cars are murderers! Work stick backup. The culprits have been identified. No, I mean... the killer hidden one of them or something. Whatever you say, sir. Cars are not a threat. Over. Oh my god. Regardless, we should contact the owners. Keep a record of the license plates. Cars! Vehicles are worth checking out later. We should sweep for fingerprints or something. To my investigation saunter. What you got here, officer? What's going on here? Hello, officer? Can't talk. Busy investigating. Investigating what? There's nothing here. Well, don't tell anybody, but just trying to tie my shoe. Oh, you keep doing that. Just trying to solve a murder here. No big deal. No pressure. You good, buddy? This officer's taking so long to tie his shoe that put up this fake sign to make it look like he was investigating. Don't tell anybody. I'm still trying to figure out these knots. Oh my god. What happened here? Someone's an asshole. Two asshole. Clearly you pulled in first, then you pulled in afterwards. Taxi's gotta be important, right? What is this? This looks like... a tripod? It's an odd thing to find at a crime scene. Keep a record of it for later. We took a record of the license plates on these cars. There's not much else I can do until the police run more tests. 111-1111. That looks like a gun. Ah, there's a gun here. It's like a pistol. I was briefed on this before we arrived. Police had found the weapon under this car. It was moved from its original position for the investigation. I'll keep a record of this evidence. Alright. Sorry. Okay, we got gun. Oh god. This pistol was under the car when the police found it. I wonder what it was doing there. That's an interesting bit of information. Oh, that's the log. So, this is the victim. Squad 006. On its side 007. 02, 006. Rebecca Flowers. Oh, right. Nail, Conrad Cross. It says we don't have any case info yet, but so this is the victim. Looks like he died between these two cars. We should take a picture or something. I have to bring my camera. There, I already took a photo, sir. Oh. Here's a copy. The victim. Thanks. I'll hold on to it. Would it hurt to face the person you're speaking to? Huh. I think there's everything there. That's everything there is to see here. I should speak to Nail when I'm ready to continue. Body. Took down some notes on the photo I received from the officer. Well done. You can review items of interest from the case files. Be sure to check them often by pressing tab. Ah, okay. Right, tab. Are you finished looking through the crime scene? This is your last chance to investigate before we leave. I think I'm gonna keep looking around a bit. Very well, just speak to me when you are done. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else to see since we got actually prompted to leave now. Oh, okay, so if you've seen a bit of dialogue before, you can actually get a prompt. Thanks. Okay, that's neat. And can I, yep, can pull up my stuff anytime. One victim body between two cars. Alright, let's leave. Let's go. We've seen everything here, sir. Good. Let's review. Have you located the murder weapon? There's a gun under one of the cars. Furthermore, it appears as though the victim was shot. This was the only gun at the scene. It seems likely it was the murder weapon. Good deduction. The police have already run an analysis on the pistol. No fingerprints were found, but we can tell it was fired 2 times. Interesting. 2 times? That means one of the shots hit the victim, but the other hit the ceiling. Look. Oh, you're right. Interesting. Why did a bullet hit up there? It's hard to say. Was it an accident? Maybe it happened during a struggle with the victim. Whatever the answer is, the truth will come to light in court tomorrow. Trial's tomorrow? They already found a suspect? That's right. The defendant's name is Greg Gardner. We've confirmed the victim's identity as well. His name was Daniel Yard. The defendant is Gardner and the victim is Yard. Does that mean me joining you behind the bench? Of course. I'll expect the best from you tomorrow. Oh, my best is the same as your best. The preliminary autopsy report was finished before we arrived. It contains details about the cause and time of death of the victim. It's extremely important evidence for tomorrow's trial. Here's a copy. Be sure to read it through carefully. Alrighty. The cause of death was the bullet that hit him. Yes. It's almost certain that the bullet came from that gun. By the way, these cars are definitely related to the case. They are? Here's a detailed report of the license plate owners. Wow, okay. Compare this report to the notes you took if you can. Will do. Oh, okay. VX75718 was Daniel Yard. GTV8322 was Greg Gardner. Okay, so both the relevant parties were there. Well, well, we meet again, prosecutor now. Still investigating, are we? Kate Flocking. Presume you're the defendant's lawyer. She's a defense attorney? You presume correct? And who might this be? Me? Oh. This is my student, Conrad Cross. Hello? Ah, student. How tragic. That his first case will be a loss. It's not my first case. That's enough, Conrad. Let the defense investigate. Defense can investigate? Both parties are allowed ample time to investigate before a trial begins. Oh, right. I believe that's a fair law. You'd best get to it, Miss Flocking. I look forward to an engaging trial tomorrow, Mr. Nail. Alright, off she goes. Alright, we did learn about the crime. Let's run through this from the beginning. Let's assume the accused is guilty of the crime. Right, first the victim is standing here. The time of death was 2 o'clock a.m. Why was he standing here? His car. Now that I have a record of the license plate owners, I can cross-reference it with the notes I took earlier. I should keep note that I can change categories when presenting evidence. The situation I should present a profile. This car belongs to... O2 was BX79 Daniel Yard. Victim, Daniel Yard. Correct. So he was probably entering his car at 2 o'clock a.m. Then suddenly he was shot in the back by the accused. Did he fight back? Which explained the bullet in the ceiling. He was shot in the back. I don't think someone could fight back after that. And there's no blood anywhere but right there. Which means he didn't move from the spot. What did the accused do? He must have tried to dispose of the murder weapon. Under that car. Not the best hiding place. What did this tripod have to do with anything? That's a difficult question. Perhaps it is unrelated. Maybe someone was scouting. Scouting? Perhaps they had a camera set up pointed at that office building. Maybe something was being planned. Let's refrain from speculation. However, there is something about that building. Witness was supposedly in the building at the time of the crime. An eyewitness? Did they see anything? I'm not sure. Considering the police are calling her a witness, she probably saw something. Now, the accused was found in this spot at 2:20 a.m. That's what the police reported? Seems like a simple case. The victim was entering his car. The accused shot him in the back. Then he tried to hide his weapon under a vehicle. The weird thing is he tried to hide it under his own vehicle. Police arrived and arrested him. I don't know. Doesn't seem to fit the evidence. More evidence will be made available tomorrow. Alright then. Let's have the police finish this up. Indeed. We'll see you at the courthouse tomorrow. Get some rest. Now we've gathered clues and evidence, start to piece things together. The courtroom is where the real truth comes out. Where the one truth will prevail, even. Likewise, tomorrow's trial will be a difficult battle. I don't know if rest is even an option for me. Whoa, right into court. Whoa. This is it. I hope Nail can pull this off. That said, I should be ready to help him. As his assistant, I'll be tasked with retrieving evidence. Some of the items I discovered yesterday should come in handy. The trial will now commence. Hello there. Does the defendant understand the charges against him? Yeah, Your Honor. Very well. The suspect seems confident in his acquittal. Won't be for long. The prosecution ready to proceed. Ah, you've been waiting here all morning. Very well. Is the defense ready? That's no word necessary. Ha! We'll show the dream team over there who's ready. Way to stay professional. And let's begin. We're getting something, young one. You haven't introduced us yet. What? How old do you have to be to call the judge young? Ah, I almost forgot. Today's trial will mark the beginning of a new judicial system. What? Actually, it's more or less the same as it used to be. There are just 2 additions. I'm Edition 1. Edition 2, ready and willing. What? These 2 will serve as my consultants during this trial. Furthermore, the 3 of us will vote on the final verdict. Okay, it's interesting. The goal is to provide a more democratic approach to the law. A 2/3 majority will be required to pass judgment. What? Why didn't you say anything? The law is changing, Conrad. It's out of our control. All we can do is attempt to steer it in the right direction. I look forward to an engaging trial, Mr. Nail. Right, that's out of the way. How would the defense plea? Not guilty. Obviously. Obviously. Yeah, we're not giving up that easy. Huh. Just like a criminal to keep fighting. Presumptions, eh? Impartial, eh? The law is something to be feared. This seems flawed from the get-go. That's quite enough. Why don't we let the prosecution take it from here? Are representatives of the law supposed to argue? Are representatives of the law supposed to have preconceived notions like that? Just like a criminal to argue, eh? Huh. Victim was Daniel Yard. He was killed in a parking garage on the 5th floor at around 2 a.m. Conrad, can you share a photo of the scene? That me? Let's see here. Could we actually fuck this up? Here it is. I see. That looks very dreadful. Indeed, as you can see, the victim was shot in the back. No indication that the body was moved after death. As for the weapon, we have a pretty good idea. Conrad, show His Honor what was found at the scene. Right away, sir. Gun. This is the weapon that was found. Found a pistol at the scene of the crime. Very telling indeed. It's like a criminal to leave traces of the crime. What is up with you? Way to go, Conrad. That should give them something to think about. Tell me, Mr. Nail. Where was this piece of evidence found? Under a car parked at the scene. I see. Have you identified the owner of this car? Conrad, you're up. Got it. Owner of the car. CTV 8322. It was the defendant's car. You'd assume that after the crime, it was tossed under there. Very compelling evidence. So after the murder, the defendant hid the weapon. Under his own car. That is correct. Objection. If His Honor just hit the nail on the head. Whoa, that's a very fleshy bench slap. There is a serious problem with the prosecution's argument. That is, where the pistol was hidden. But it clearly points to the defendant's involvement. Wrong. Tell me. If you had committed a murder, would you leave the weapon under your own car? Very good point indeed. Objection sustained. But she's right. Tell me, Mr. Nail, were any fingerprints found on the weapon? None. But the defendant could have been wearing gloves. Were any gloves found at the scene? No. But he could have hidden them somewhere, right? Tossed them outside? This issue is too minor to go on about. Indeed. The prosecution will refrain from speculation. Does the defense have any other points? Your Honor, I believe the prosecution has left out an important detail. We haven't heard why the defendant was arrested. I believe Miss Flocking is correct, Your Honor. What is the basis for your accusation? After the crime had taken place, witness called the police. Where was this witness? In the office building across the street. She claimed to have heard gunshots. When the police arrived, they found Gardner on the scene. They found him on the 5th floor. He was arrested for being closest to the scene. That, and there was a clear motive. We'll get to the motive soon. But first, when exactly did the police show up? Around 20 minutes later. 20 minutes? That time the criminal would be long gone. Gardner was still in the parking garage. Presuming Gardner wasn't the criminal. Exactly. If you had committed a crime, wouldn't you have fled the scene? Order. Wow, we did a really shitty job yesterday. Let me get this straight. But then again, I feel like we did a really shitty job, but this is the prosecution side of a Phoenix Wright-like trial. First, gunshots were heard around 2 a.m. on the 5th floor. The police were called. They arrived 20 minutes later and found this brutal scene, along with the defendant, who was still near the body. That's correct. Do you have an explanation as to why Mr. Gardner was still on the scene? How could this happen? Gardner released the culprit. Why did he stay near the crime scene? The prosecution has an explanation. We do? Conrad, I want to hear your thoughts on this. Oh boy. What? I guess I'll try my best. Let me think. Left and came back? Maybe he left and came back later. It's reasonable enough to assume he left the scene. There's no evidence to suggest he actually did. Plus, he would have driven away in his car. And there was no sign the car had moved after 2 a.m. What if he left on foot? And go where? Furthermore, why return? He forgot something. That'd be a foolish move on his part. Think of something else, okay? What if he didn't know he was in danger? What if he thought he had plenty of time to hide his crime? What would the defense say of Mr. Gardner? He wasn't aware of the approaching police. You mean to say he thought he had more time to flee the scene? That is correct. I say? No. The defendant and the prosecution is well aware that an office building is located right next to this garage. He would have known someone would hear the shots. It was 2 a.m. Who would still be in that building? Furthermore, the weather was stormy. Gunshots would be easily mistaken as lightning. Therefore, the defendant would have thought his tracks would be covered. Nail really turned that one around. Hey! Might have a fighting chance. If he had that much time to spare, he would have hidden the murder weapon in a better place. You'd go on like this all day. But I have a better idea. I need to pass a verdict, counselors. Defense has acquired a decisive witness. Exactly how decisive are we talking about? Is the prosecution aware that the defendant was not at the scene of the crime at 2 a.m.? Eh? Are you serious? Now this is getting interesting. Your Honor, the defense is making a mockery of this court. The defendant was found at the scene of the crime. The court, please recall. That was 20 minutes after the gunshots. The defense is not jesting, counselors. Witness has agreed to testify that she was with Mr. Gardner at 2 a.m. What? The defense will call this witness immediately. This isn't good. Would we be wrong? Conrad, I figured something like this would happen. But I know that we have the culprit. Are you alright, sir? I believe I've caught a cold. Was he investigating late last night or something? How could he have committed the crime if he wasn't there at 2 a.m.? The evidence will guide us. One way or another. This witness lie under oath? Witness has been sworn in. Will you please state your name and occupation? My name is Rebecca Flowers. Flowers? Why does that name sound familiar? I would tell you my occupation, but... What time is it? It's a little past 11 a.m. 11 a.m.? I'm late! Miss Flowers, you have been summoned to a court of law. She seems like a wild card. Interesting. I'm sure whatever arrangements you've made can be postponed. This is a very serious murder trial. Yeah, very serious. Mr. Gardner, you're here too? Yeah. Hello again. Wait, what? You know the defendant? Defendant? I mean, Mr. Gardner? He was in my office when those gunshots went off. A criminal wasn't even present at the moment of the crime. Not a very convincing case for the prosecution. Let's hear the whole story before any assumptions are made. Huh? Suspect Mr. Gardner of the murder? Why, that's impossible. He was with me when I called the police. You mean, this is the witness that reported the crime? It appears so. Why didn't I hear about this testimony before? Well, I didn't even know Mr. Gardner was arrested until now. And this nice attorney found me and asked me about the gunshots. If the court is prepared, the end is nay. Witness, please testify about the moment of the murder. Conrad, the witness is about to give testimony. Testifying under oath? I think I know the basics. Until defense is called, the witness flocking will be questioning her. In other words, she will ask questions related to the case. Either party can object if something doesn't sound right. I can do that by hitting Q, right? Correct. I'll do the objecting for now, though. But you can only do that if you're prompted with the... Yes, but be wary. Wary. If someone objects to something trivial, the court will go tired. You should be prepared to back up any objections with evidence. Got it. Let's hear the testimony. Alright, let's hear testimony. What were you doing with Mr. Gardner at 2 a.m.? Oh wow. 2 a.m.? What? I'm late! Oh my god. Witness, it isn't 2 a.m. Oh, let's see. Mr. Gardner came in asking for extensions. For an extension on his payments. Payments? I work at a loan company. And and the defendant was going to be late in paying. That's right. Although now that Dan's gone, I don't know if our company can stay afloat. What? You knew the victim too? Oh, you didn't know? Mr. Yard runs the company I work at. Is there anyone in this case that doesn't know the witness? Me! That'll be the prosecution, Your Honor. You heard the gunshots at around 2 a.m., correct? My god. I'm gonna be late! I'm getting deja vu, or have we been through this already? Where were you when the shots went off? I was in my office, with Mr. Gardner. Where exactly? Take a look at this diagram. My desk is here, facing the door. The defendant was sitting across from you. Yep, you heard the shots as well. After I heard them, I almost mistook it for lightning. It sounded so close, so I turned around. It was dark and stormy, so I couldn't see clearly. There was definitely someone in the parking garage. After a few moments, he fell over. You saw the moment of death? That's right, it was very frightening. There was no one else in the parking garage. Not that I could see. Beginning to lose faith in the prosecution. The real culprit probably hid during the span of time between the murder and the few seconds after when the witness turned. Data from the autopsy report confirms the shooter would have been on the right side from this viewpoint. Based on the angle of impact, the victim was probably entering his car. He was shot squarely in the back. So the culprit was in spot 005. It's bad, we have to do something fast. Miss Flowers, was the defendant in his seat when you heard the shots? Yes, he was. Conrad, someone isn't telling us something. Please, show the court. Okay, we can handily save here. I don't actually know what you're talking about. Maybe? To Gardner. Based on the witness's testimony. You should have seen the moment of the crime through the window. Yeah, I should have. Oh, I mean, it's all the same thing as Flowers. It was raining, so I could only see the victim. It doesn't add up. Nice going, Conrad. You remembered about the exclamation point indicator. Yeah, all I had to do was hit Q and I raised objection. I also have the ability to click on the indicator to do the same. Be careful. You should only do this if you can prove your claim. Unjustified objections will put you in a bad place with the judge. Now explain to the court what's wrong with this statement. Mr. Gardner, you said that you couldn't see the culprit. We just proved the killer was standing in spot 005. The weather was not an issue. Miss Flowers may have missed the true culprit due to the seconds missed when she turned after hearing the gunshots. But you were facing the window the whole time. Furthermore, we've established that someone was standing in spot 003. Could be seen from Miss Flowers' office. Huh. That's right. If the killer was in spot 005, that'd be right next to the clearly visible victim. Why would the defendant lie about not seeing the culprit? It can only mean one thing. Gardner is involved with the crime. just like we suspected. We're not done yet. Let's see what else the witness has to say. The prosecution has been basing their entire argument on an incorrect premise. Oh, really? What is this premise you speak of? It's simple. The true culprit couldn't have been in spot 005. Why? The evidence that the prosecution has presented contains a major contradiction. She's right. Would you care to explain the problem, Mr. Cross? Alright. Several meters away from the victim. Okay, the autopsy report. Go through every piece of evidence carefully before answering. No need. Sadly, the defense is correct. This autopsy report confirms that the shooter was at least several meters away when firing. You're right. That means the culprit could have been out of the defendant's line of sight. But this point is valid. Objection sustained. What could this mean? There was no way for the killer to be in spot 005. You know the culprit had to be in one of these parking spaces. And spot 006 was blocked by the defendant's car. Which means our elusive criminal was in spot 007 or beyond. If you look at this photo of the crime scene, the car's windows were closed. The bullet hit the victim's chest area, making that spot impossible without damaging the car. Very valid point. The culprit was behind that car. Could be the car just wasn't there. In my thought where the defendant is actually innocent, my thought was that perhaps the defendant just pulled into the crime scene and over the gun that was left behind after the fact. But in this case, maybe just... no, I don't know. Pulled in his car, hid the gun under it to fake it. This next piece of testimony should clear this confusion up. Right. There's still a witness on the stand. Please, continue. Miss Flowers, what did you do after you saw the victim fall down? I kind of like this, actually. It feels more like there's actually a direct examination going on here. I called the police. What did they tell you? They said they would arrive in about 40 minutes. That's quite a long response time. It is. Right, they said it would be hard to show up sooner due to the stormy weather. Hey, that's a... Yes, then I told Mr. Gardner they were coming. Then he left to make sure Mr. Yard was alright. What did you do? I stayed in my office for a bit. And around 30 minutes later, I went to the lobby to meet the police. Wait, how'd you know it was Mr. Yard out there? They had already arrived. That's right. Your Honor, this testimony is extremely important. The defendant was on the scene to check the state of the victim, where he was arrested for a crime he didn't commit. The story does fit this scenario quite well. What's the issue of the missing culprit? That could be explained if we hear the defendant's statement. When I arrived at the scene, I rolled up my car windows. Well, what? The moment of the crime, the defendant's car windows were open, allowing the true killer to make the shot beyond spot 006. Which explains why the defendant couldn't see the culprit. Okay. Let's get a view for the witness's office. Why would you... Correct. Then when Mr. Gardner arrived at the scene 20 minutes later, he closed his car windows. Why would he... Why would he close the windows if he was there to help the victim? He's clearly lying. Actually, Mr. Gardner has testified to this fact previously. Why would he lie about something so minor at the time? As for the reason, I find that irrelevant to the case at hand. What matters is merely that he did close the car windows at 2:20 a.m. And really, how could we prove that? Seriously, how can we prove that? 2:20 a.m.? I believe we've heard enough. This is a very clear case of misunderstanding, counselors. That's real sus. I don't know. The defendant is innocent. That's why... I don't know how I feel about that. Prepared to pass down a verdict. The counselor's ready. Yeah, been ready from the start. I believe I can pass judgment as well. It's bad, we're gonna lose for sure. Logic was correct. He'd be guilty. But the evidence. What do we do, sir? We must. Must be something we missed. But does that mean he was actually at the scene at 2 a.m.? The prosecutor's done whispering amongst themselves. The defense can prove that the defendant was not at the scene. You can? With what? Miss Flower's office is equipped with 2 security cameras. Take a picture once every 5 minutes. You can see the defendant is in this office at 1:55 a.m. He's here at 2 a.m. as well. Then once the shots went off, Miss Flowers called the police. Mr. Gardner is no longer at the scene. Why did you show this to the court earlier? Conrad, as attorneys, we built our case piece by piece. The piece of evidence has only become relevant now that we are discussing the witness. Oops. You can see in this picture that they're actually looking at the scene of the crime. This must be just after the shots. Oh. Are you alright, sir? I'm right. Uh-oh. I see no reason to further prolong this trial. Prepare to call for a vote to pass judgment. How does Counselor Woodman plea? Not guilty. No. Counselor Crawford. I've been waiting for this moment. Justice is swift and unforgiving. Guilty. Of course. Very well. I vote. Sir! Oh. He dying. Ah! Someone call a doctor! No. Everyone's settled. The defense is prepared to continue the trial. And the prosecution? I'll be taking over for Prosecutor Nail. How is his condition? He's taken to a local hospital. He'll live, but he's in a coma. Well, someone poisoned him. But think, poisoning here in this courtroom. This be an attempt to interfere with the trial. Perhaps we still have an obligation to the court. The trial will continue. We will discuss the poisoning at a later time. Yeah, this is found at the parking garage. The dosage wasn't lethal, so Nail will be alright. There's still the issue of Gardner's crime. Whoever poisoned my mentor was probably trying to interfere. Meaning, they want Gardner to get an acquittal. Must not let him get away with this. Alright, here we go. Are you sure you can handle the prosecution by yourself? Taking the bar exam, Your Honor. and I've dealt with a few trials in the past. Very well. I believe we were about to pass a verdict. Your Honor, there are still a few things we haven't discussed. It's over, Cross. I already won. I have the high ground. It's not about winning, Miss Flocking. We leave even the smallest piece of evidence without examination. We have felt on our obligation to a fair trial. Now, don't try to play the hero. If you're wrong, an innocent man could go to jail. Yeah, I'm innocent. You need to have faith in Mail's deduction. To figure something out, or else he wouldn't have continued this trial. We promise a solution. We'll find the truth. The prosecution's position remains unchanged. As a matter of fact, there are several pieces of evidence that have not been discussed. I believe examining them will further the prosecution's case. This is rich. Well, Prosecutor Cross, what do we miss? I think we should start with this. There were 2 shots fired at the scene. Remind the court, Miss Flocking. Where exactly did they land? One of the shots hit the victim. The other one hit the ceiling of the parking garage. Must have missed that during my investigation. Begs the question, why was there a bullet hole in the ceiling? Don't worry, Miss Flocking. We are both incapable of looking up. Order! The culprit have misfired. Your Honor, I believe there's no way the culprit misfired. What a bold claim. Tell me, Prosecutor Cross, do you have evidence to prove it? Do I have... I mean... Why not? Let's try it. To prove there's no way the culprit misfired. Well. Let's watch the prosecution lose. Cross, I can tell you're testing the waters. Following the rabbit hole can be too long, can be dangerous for your case. Sorry? I don't believe you have the evidence to make any claims about the culprit's ability to aim. Of course, we can't assume something as vague as that. Maybe he's right. I shouldn't object every time it pops up. Should look carefully through what I have before objecting next time. Oh, okay. Well, what does the defense have to say? I think the existence of the second bullet hole. It's fine with the current theory. Can't prove that the second shot wasn't just an accident. I think let's do a way out of this. Very well, let's... Your Honor, just a moment of your time, please. It better be good. The court grows weary of your interruptions. We assume the defendant was involved. Must have left some trace, some way to contact a third party. Did the defendant have a cell phone in his possession when he was arrested? No phones were found on his personage. One thing we found was the key to his car. Yeah, I left my phone in my car by mistake. Did you add those keys to the public record? If it stops the prosecution from crying, then yes. Okay. I know he's lying about something. I don't have anything to go on. I need him to slip up. It's a garage door. The prosecution would like the defendant to testify. The prosecution is needlessly drawing out this trial. It does appear that way. Information is to be gained by taking this course of action. You hear something that we haven't discussed yet. Also, I should be careful about my choices from now on. The judge is growing tired and the court is leaning towards flocking. A mistake, I could be penalized. A little penalty bar. Choose carefully. What can we learn from Gardner? Well... haven't heard about the moment of the crime. From the point of view of the defendant. That's right. He concluded that he could have missed the culprit. But he never gave us the full story. Furthermore, we haven't heard what happened when he left the office. Very well. The defendant's prepared to have the defendant testify. This is a waste of time, but I suppose it will do no harm. I look forward to the prosecution's demise. Defendant, please take the stand. Here we go. Yeah, testify. I'll show everyone. I wouldn't hurt a fly. It's time to hit him hard and prove his guilt. Must not fail. Prosecutor Nail is counting on me. Mr. Gardner, please testify about the time during and after the murder. What happened when you left Miss Flower's office? Let's see. Oh, yeah. I told her I'd go make sure Yard was alright. How long did it take to get there? Let's see. By the time I went downstairs... Yeah. It took 20 minutes to get to the 5th floor. And you already knew the police would arrive shortly. Yeah, although I was a bit surprised. You got there quicker than I expected. Then they totally arrested me on the spot. Yeah. That doesn't seem right. I thought the police would arrive 40 minutes later. So Miss Flowers had told him after she called the police. Yeah, how's that? Why was he so surprised? Can't call him out on it just yet. What did you see at the parking garage? Well, let's see. Saw Yard's body. It's a bit in shock. Yeah. And you rolled up your car windows. Yeah, that's right. Don't even think about asking why he did such a thing. Looks like I can't shake him with this line of questioning. What did you witness during the moment of the crime? I saw a flash of light. Yeah. Then, Yard fell over. Did you see the second shot? Oh, yeah. Actually, Yard didn't fall over immediately. Second shot rang out, and then he fell down. Well, the shots were fired before Yard fell over. Which one hit the victim? Number 2? You know if the victim was hit by the first shot? Yeah, at the time, I couldn't tell. Thinking about it now, it was definitely hit by the first shot. Witness, explain yourself. But even the police know which shot was fired first. So how could the defendant have withheld this information? Yeah, how could I? Oh, well, it's just a matter of reasoning. Know for a fact the second shot was an accident. But, Gardner, I'd suggest you stop speaking at once. Your Honor, the defendant knows more than he's letting on. Indeed. You assume he's connected to the crime. You must know more about it than the police. Which means, if I consider what he says is true, it should lead to new conclusions in the evidence. Number shots fired. Good question. We'll ponder this for next video. Until then.